Good evening, you're watching Fiji Today News. I'm Lavanir Ndiva. Fiji's export earnings from the fisheries sector is indicating positive signs from within the industry. Only recently, Fiji's fisheries industry was given a boost after the European Union allowed Fiji back into the export fold. And this morning, the Department of Fisheries launched the first ever and what's considered one of the finest super frozen vessels in the country to efficiently complement work undertaken by the department.
The Permanent Secretary for Fisheries and Forests, Captain William Poto, at today's launch said that current figures released by the Reserve Bank of Fiji indicates that the fisheries sector is contributing well to the Fiji economy. Overwhelming growth in the fisheries industry indicates that whilst our export earnings in 2008 was $138 million, this increased in 2009 to $156 million, and last year it increased further to $205 million, passing the 200 million mark. Mr. Nopoto said foreign vessels calling at any of Fiji's ports also provide substantial income to government and government authorities like Immigration Department and the Ports and Customs Authority.
Now we are heading into a new era of fisheries development, whereby we are looking at having a fleet of Fiji-registered long-distance fishing vessels with accredited and dedicated operators who are committed to the sustainability of our ocean resources. These vessels will only complement the effort of our own domestic fleet fishing in our own exclusive economic zone.
With the launching of the super frozen vessel this morning, Captain Nopoto adds that the Fiji ports of entry needs to maintain a high level of professionalism and standard for fishing vessels to use as a base for their fishing operation. With new technology exposed to the country, the fisheries industry, the Executive Director for Ocean Bountiful, Chitian Jack, hopes that it will ignite interest from local fisheries support business to take a serious look at super frozen technology, as Fiji has a lot of potential in the fisheries sector.
Fiji has a lot of potentials in terms of geographic location, in terms of resources, and the people, of course. It's definitely one of the best fishing bases that you can ever get in the South Pacific Ocean. So Fiji is always the first choice in my mind.
The Prime Minister today called on the Flying Fijians rugby team to remember the nation, to play with all their strength, and to perform to the best of their abilities. An avid rugby fan himself, Commodore Barengemban Marama, today imparted some words of inspiration for our rugby boys as they take on the world at the Mecca of world rugby.
The Prime Minister, Commodore Barengemban Marama, on behalf of the government today wished the Flying Fijians all the best ahead of the 2011 Rugby World Cup in New Zealand that kicks off tonight. Commodore Bainimarama says the Flying Fijians will carry the hopes of the nation when they take on Namibia in its opening game at Rotorua International Stadium on Saturday and for their other Pool D games in their Rugby World Cup campaign. Government has invested $3 million into the team's preparation to inspire players to perform well and up to the huge expectations of Fijian fans around the globe. The Prime Minister said that our boys have made the necessary sacrifices and completed its preparations. According to the head of government, it is now the wish of the people and himself that our players perform to the best of their ability. He added that Fijians here at home and around the world will be watching the Flying Fijians progress on television and cheering them on. Sports, in particular rugby, has been a unifying factor, and government is promoting sports to bring harmony and unity in Fiji.
Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Solomara, will be taking up the post of Fiji's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The father of four and former councillor at the Fiji Embassy in Brussels was today farewelled by other permanent secretaries at Barron House before he leaves for his new posting.
The Permanent Secretary for the Public Service, Mr. Parmesh Chand, today joined other permanent secretaries to officially extend their gratitude to Sol O'Mara for his work contribution as a permanent secretary since his appointment in October 2009. Mr. Chand spoke briefly on Mara's professional career in the diplomatic and foreign service, adding his experience in diplomacy and international relations after having held positions directly dealing with these areas over the last 10 years. In response, Mar said he was deeply honored to serve government and the people of Fiji and was grateful for the new role entrusted to him. He extended his appreciation to the Prime Minister Commodore Verenge Bainimarama, his Minister Ratiunoke Kumbuambola, and his colleagues and other permanent secretaries. Mr. Mar joined the civil service in 1989 and rose to the position of Senior Security Analyst for the National Assessment and Security Unit at the Ministry of Home Affairs. He joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 2000 and has held prominent positions within the organization. While this is his first posting as a head of a foreign mission, Mara is no stranger to the High Commission in London. From 2002 to 2005, he was the first secretary at our London office and also acted as the High Commissioner for a few months in 2002. Fiji's High Commission in the UK is also accredited to other countries, including the Holy See or the Vatican City, the Federal Republic of Germany, Denmark, Northern Ireland, Egypt, and the Holy State of Israel. The former High Commissioner to the High Commission in London was Rugby Chief Pio Bosco Tikoisuva.
We'll take a break. Coming up, road rehabilitation progresses and working closely with the private sector to accelerate economic growth.